Over this demonstration, we're going to do a business impact analysis by using the techniques in cybersecurity, security fundamentals. We're going to use the tool Nmap. Performing technical scanning on a vulnerable systems, like in this case, I'm going to use the Metasploitable version 2 to identify exposed services and uses data to complete a matrix that is called business impact analysis, which would serve us some goods and would evaluate the impact of the systems and services loss. We're going to do that by using the Kali Linux. Let me guide you towards the process, how we would be engaging and doing this. Let's, first of all, we have set up the environment. We have this Kali Linux actual environment that I'm going to use as my workstation. And then the other VM is the Metasploitable 2, which is running on the virtual box, and it's here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to scan for services with Nmap. This would be the typical process that we would do whenever we would be trying to fill out this business impact analysis metrics. And in a short time, I'm going to explain what would be those parameters that I'm using now. Dash SS would mean TCP SYN scan. Service verbose would mean dash SV. Dash T4 would be the faster scan, so Nmap would have different types of scanning. And the dash O would mean operating system detection. Whenever I execute, I'm going to run this, which would tell us more on that aspect, on all those parameters that we are looking for. We have the output, the result, and the result is like that. So we look for the service verbose state of all ports and services, and what kind of services is using which port. That is first. And the next, we were looking for the operating system. That is here. So we got to identify this one, and it's here. So we identified a lot of things that we were looking. And the scan was T4, which means was faster. Next would be wherever we would do those kind of steps and processes that we would just collect and gather more information about that environment. Next, we're going to analyze and fill out the business impact analysis matrix. For each discovered services, as you would see here, we would be determine what would be the criticality, estimate RTO and RPO. So RTO would mean max time to restore it before impact is severe, and RPO would mean max tolerance and data loss in hours. So how much time, how much data and time we are able to accept as tolerable. And dependencies, what would be the dependencies? Shortly, I'm going to show an example of the filled entry on a spreadsheet of the business impact analysis. This would be that spreadsheet that we would be able to fill. So typical business impact metrics. So asset name, what would be the asset that we already scanned, we already assessed, evaluated with an Nmap tool, and the IP address, and that open ports, all those outputs that the tool would give us, and then we would decide. This would be part of a discussion with a team, with an organization where you would discuss. So MySQL, since it's MySQL, it's a database system, it's high. The criticality is high. And then what is the RTO? What is the maximum time to restore it before impact is severe? And RPO, so how many hours would be tolerable to lost data? And dependencies. So end users of HR would depend because this would be the service that would be served to them, who is the end user. And then any justification and any vulnerability that has been found. So this would be the matrix, the spreadsheet that you would be filling. And then at the end, you would have a business impact analysis where you would know what could impact mostly on you. If we wanted, we said on a previous recordings or demonstration of videos, we said that if we wanted to have much more deep diving with Nmap, we can use something that's called script vol, which Nmap would have this within it integrated. This would be Nmap -- script vol. There are a lot of scripts within an Nmap that we can use and target critical services separately. We can do that, or all in one. We do it like this, for example, for FTP. Those that I'm naming are all the scripts that exist within a script pool of the Nmap. When I execute, I'm going to find the scripts, user scripts, FTPs, related to FTP, 3 of them on the target server. And that's going to show us. So that would mean that we would be able to see what would be the port. That port is 21 that are focused on FTP. And then what would be found there? Any vulnerable, so it's vulnerable to this version. There is a backdoor. There is exploit potential. And there's a CVE. So we would grab all those and further work on mitigation process for those findings. This would be one by one showing an output on each one of those looking scripts. This way, the Nmap would be very powerful when it comes to the utilization of those additional scripts that Nmap is having within it.